anticipated Prism God show. I'm live here in Dallas, Texas. I'm in my hotel room and my internet sucks. So hopefully you guys can still enjoy this show. Today we're talking about golden auctions versus eBay.
Yeah.
How
Hello,
you
hello,
been?
everybody. Hey, been good, man. I mean, today's been a long day. The week's been a long week.
Yep.
Of course, we got a lot of exciting things coming
Let me
this
put on my
weekend.
glasses so I can stunt.
We got a lot of exciting things happening this weekend.
Yep.
We're gonna be in Dallas where you're at already. So kudos to you to getting there a little ahead of me. I'll be there tomorrow evening.
Yes.
Um, but I mean,
Are you gonna
it's
really be here
good.
tomorrow evening for real?
Yeah.
You don't never come on Thursday.
Hey man, it's a first for everything, right?
You always come on. You always come on Friday, Saturday mornings, Friday nights.
Well, I'm excited to see you, man. So I'm gonna get there and I'm gonna see you.
Okay. Well, I'm that much early. I'm here. Rough time on the plane. I'm tired. Been ongoing doing going to LA, going to South Carolina. Now I'm here in Dallas in a week. I guess it's been like a week. Literally, I just went to South Carolina, and so I don't know. It's been a lot going on in the hobby, and I know last week we didn't have a show because I was in LA and I kind of lost track of time. That's the only reason I didn't have a show. I really couldn't get a chance to do what I'm doing right now, which is sit down and kind of like get my thoughts together. But
Last week I made the biggest deal of my life. Last week,
yeah,
sold some cards. So I mean, a lot of exciting things going on in the Prism Gods community. First and foremost, really excited to link up with you again this weekend there in Dallas. That show's going to be exciting.
yeah,
Anyone's coming out to the show, feel free to drop by and tell us hello. We always like to hear you guys' kudos or uh, your positive or your critiques.
Oni
And
says,
so
"Why am I here so early?" You want to tell him why I'm here so early, or do I need to tell him?
Oh man, he's always making moves. He's always making moves, man. So this is a power move he's making today.
No, man. I just want to get here and be active, man. I tell you what, if you ever get a chance to go to a big show, you always notice that most of the big dealers are always here a day or a couple days early to do some moving. But for me, I actually came a day early because I wanted to grade some cards. So I went to Beckett. As soon as I landed, went to go meet up with Sappy, drop off some cards with him, and then do some one-day grades. So hopefully those come back on Friday and good, in good standing for me. So many of you guys that are just joining us today, we're going to talk about golden auction versus eBay.
Yeah,
Before
pros
we
and
kind of
cons.
jump into it, go ahead.
Yeah, no. Pros and cons of them both. Obviously,
Yeah.
they both
Hmm.
offer unique opportunities
Yeah.
for buyers and sellers. And so we're gonna dabble a little bit about that. Again, thank you for everybody tuning in and checking us out.
We got four people.
Hopefully the energy kicks up a little bit. It's been a long day for both of us, man. I normally don't go into the office, for my regular 9 to 5, and
Yeah.
today was in the branch again all week. Been in there training, doing a couple little things.
Yeah.
Um, got promoted in the last week.
Congrats.
So a
Rich
lot of
get
good
richer.
things are happening. With us, it's exciting the horizon. And feel free to keep reaching out to us, man. We're gonna try to give you guys as much knowledge, as much opportunity as we can provide, and the business, the hobby, everything is really prospering and living well.
Hmm. Absolutely. All right. So I don't even really know how to start this. I was kind of like trying to figure out how we wanted to kind of talk about this, but let's talk about eBay first because I kind of feel like we kind of talked about it.
Hey man, you're not gonna hit me with that intro today?
I can't look. I can't do the intro today because I'm on my iPad. So I'm on my iPad, guys. So
Man, that's how. You're taking me around away from my element, man.
I'm
That
sorry, man.
beat,
I know
that hype,
we can't do the
that
cool
hype
intro.
in that
Yeah.
that hype intro, man. It kind of gets me in the zone, man. You're taking that away from me.
I'm sorry, man. We just got to kind of raw dog it today and just keep it going and keep going. But for you guys that don't know, I'm Prism Guide and this is Kobe Collector, and today we're going to talk about Golden Auctions versus eBay. Man, we're going to talk about some pros and cons. I know normally when people they try to figure out how to come up with a value and then deciding on where to sell it. Like the numbers that we're seeing on Ken Golden's auctions are pretty insane. So kudos to that camp, Ken Golden. I did try to reach out to him to try to get him to join the show. Unfortunately, I did not get the help that I needed to get him on the show, but maybe in the future we can get him on the show to try to talk about this and what makes them so special. I had to kind of dig deep a little bit, and I figured out some things that I like. And there's some things that kind of concern me a little bit. Yeah. So when we're dealing with eBay, when we're trying to figure out if it's like, how do you typically like doing deals on eBay?
Well, it's kind of changed. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Last year, pre and during COVID, I sold a lot on eBay.
Okay.
Whenever I had a tough time probably selling it in the secondary markets like your Instagram and your Facebook, of course you can hop on to eBay, pay that fee, but you're in tune and you're locked into millions of different potential buyers. And so you can set it up for a buy now and best offer. And honestly, I've gotten the highest offers and highest sales through eBay, if I'm being honest. But they changed it up a lot, man. I think I sold a $4,000 card the other day on eBay, and it took me 14 days to get paid on it. And for me, if I'm selling something on eBay, I know that I'm going to be sacrificing that fee, but I don't want to wait 14 days. So, I mean, obviously, we're going to talk about a lot of pros and cons that are going on with both of them, man. But if I want to sell something, I want my money today, and I don't want to wait that long. So, like I said, eBay for me was always a plateau or a resource to use when I wanted to run an auction, get paid in 7 days, and be out.
I can understand that. For me, eBay has kind of always been a tool for me to kind of figure out value, and I try to get my value in card shows and all other aspects. My Instagram page, I usually get good people who will match eBay for me. Saves me money, saves me fees. So I try to avoid eBay as much as possible. But I do feel like eBay is a necessary evil. I do think that it is prime because of how much money they make in the memorabilia area and collectibles area. That it's definitely an area of opportunity for somebody to be better. My Slabs is out there. They got and then you have now Golden Auctions Heritage. We got all these auction houses that are out here, but I want to mainly talk about the most popular one because of what Golden Auction has done within, every time they do a sale, they break a record.
Yeah.
So like I said, kudos to those guys. I think they broke over $40 million in sales this past weekend. And that's pretty amazing. I mean, they've done a whole lot. They probably done over $100 million in sales this year.
Yeah, but it's a testament to where the hobby is going, right? Obviously, services are coming from the need or the want or the ability to not provide, that for yourself, and they provide a platform where you're able to do that. So I
got a question too, by the way.
I mean, you only net 85 to 87% of what you sell on eBay, And so some people, right, they'll say, well, if I sell it off of eBay, then I'll go ahead and discount that 10%, right? But if you don't live in, I think it's Oregon, if you don't live in Florida, if you don't have a business DBA attached to your eBay license, you're going to pay tax, right? So it might be 4K, as a confirmed sale that you're going to see, but nobody thinks about that sale tax that gets accompanied with the price of the sale. Correct. So when you're leveraging your pricing off of eBay, I mean, do you leverage it with the tax that comes along with it? Do you give that discount to save from the headache because you're going to miss out on funds? Or, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to skin a cat, man. And, that's what becomes, and that's the guesswork and that's the homework that comes into being a successful seller or buyer, man. So, I mean, you're going to pay your fees. And I don't know which one you want to tackle first, because there's options with Golden where they charge the buyer premium and
Well,
there's not a seller's commission on that. So I mean,
well,
we
I
can
don't want
figure
to
out how to do it.
I don't want to talk about Golden just yet, because I really want to kill what's going on in the eBay world first, and like try to figure out, like, I do like eBay because it gives us international appeal. I do like eBay for international appeal, for finding different buyers. What I've noticed, and this is just one of the tips that I have for the people out there that are listening and watching, is, again, I typically try to get people to hit me up on my IG, and I save myself some money. I say, hey, you want your goods and services, that's fine. But most of the time, if they sometimes they end up knowing me, so it ends up being pretty funny. And it allows me to get a discount and, get more of the number that I want to get, which, again, I just use eBay as a tool. And I think that it's good for certain things. I think it's good for low end stuff. I think it's good for, again, if you don't know anything about the world of the hobby, it allows you to figure out value and then try to find you get access to all these different buyers at any given time. Versus putting it on an auction where you have to wait 30 days, you can put it on eBay for any given time frame. 1 day auctions, 1 day buy now, or whatever. So it's all these different strategies to make the money up within a quicker, time frame versus having to do an auction house. So eBay's still a necessary evil, but I think that, these fees we kind of get tired of. I think fees for me.
I mean, honestly though, I mean, there's two ways I skin that cat, right? When we're talking about eBay, sometimes I get back a whole bunch of nines, and if anybody knows me, man, I don't really like nines. I get rid of them. I try to keep up, the PSA 10s, the high graded stuff, the rare stuff. I mean, if it's a 9, maybe I'll take a look at it, but for the most part, it's one of those things where I keep 10. That's what I want. And so I use consignment groups for me personally. It's the same fee structure. I mean, you're going to pay an extra 3% to have somebody, list the card, deal with the payment, deal with the customers, deal with the return.
So you rolling with the convenience of having someone else do the work for you and selling the card for you. And that's something that's an option as well. But most of those people, they use either their own platform or they use an eBay. And sometimes, for those guys out there to listen, if you don't have access to, like, because people always go off of how many people record, what your rating
Feedback.
or whatever is, your
Feedback.
feedback is. Yeah, so if you have low feedback, you may have a hard time selling a high-end card, or not necessarily getting the visibility as somebody who has a consignment group. So, like, yeah, exactly, like ComC, PWCC, is all these different ones that are out there, ProSteam. And I kind of wanted to talk about, kind of jump into like the negative aspect of it. I know we kind of always talk about the 10%. We hate those fees. What about, like, how do you feel about people chargebacks? How do you feel about chargebacks?
Oh man, they're the worst. They're the worst. I mean, I've seen they give buyers, and it's okay, right? Because honestly, as a consumer myself, and I buy a lot off of eBay, I mean, I want that opportunity to be able to charge back. In the instance where, like, there was a time where I bought a Topps Chrome Kobe refractor, and in the mail I get like a remake, reprint, or something like that. And I try to go to eBay and get a refund, and honestly, I didn't get the refund back. I was out like $600-700. This was like a year and a half ago before everything started going up. And so for me, it's like it's who does it really cater to? Because it didn't help me out in that scenario. And so I've even seen it, and you talked about feedback a little bit. I sold a Zion Williamson on eBay for $10,000. And the guy had like 4,000 feedback, and he actually had the same card, different subs in his shop. He bought the card and he didn't pay for it. I mean, he came up with a lame excuse. He talked about that he got a chargeback and he couldn't pay for this, he couldn't pay for that. And it's just like, you see all these sales and you always scratch your head and you ask yourself, is that a legit sale? Did that card really sell? And in this instance, I had a high comp. It went for, a little more than I thought it was going to go for, but it didn't get paid for. So, I mean, to me, that's the biggest con in it all as a seller, is that if you sell a card, you think that it's going to get, bought and paid for. You take all that time and energy, and then it doesn't get paid for. Then you got to do a chargeback. You got to cancel the item off. And here
Right.
you are with the card, and you know the talk that goes around. You have shilling, you got people that bid
Right.
cards up, and so
Mm-hmm.
when you get this card and it doesn't get paid for, and then it gets relisted, people automatically assume that there was some shadiness that went on with the card, and
Mm-hmm.
now you're stuck with the card, and people don't want to pay you what you want to get paid off
Exactly.
of that last comp, and then there you are. I mean, so like me, that's a big con that comes with selling on eBay.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, again, eBay is a necessary evil. We all use it for comps to try to figure out money, but it takes time. It takes, what I recommend people to do is take your time when you're trying to purchase something and make sure that you're paying the right amount of money, because I do it. I'm guilty of it. I bought a Kobe Bryant card recently based upon a comp of going $4,500, and then I saw 9.5 do 3,500. So I'm led to believe, I spend $4,000 on this card, I'm fine, because based upon the last comp, it was $4,500. But then I see a 9.5 of that exact same card sell for $1,000 less, and then now I'm in the mode where now I have to wait, I have to sit on it, or I have to say, you know what, make a decision on whether I cut my losses and move it. So it's like eBay. I wish there was a way to make eBay accommodate the sellers more than what I think. I mean, the buyers and the sellers more than what it's been doing. And I feel like for them to get the money that they're getting, I think they need to take the time to make things better for both buyers and sellers. And even if they consider us being collectors and coming up with some type of way for us to learn what's been paid for and what's not been paid for, so we can figure out true values of things, because it seems like the only way to do it is to almost run it on auction. And the thing is, what I'm seeing now, and I don't want to go too far into golden auctions, but if you put a card that you feel like maybe worth $20,000-$30,000 on eBay, because that's what we're exposed to, and then you turn around and put it on a bigger platform that's being glorified right now, like golden auctions, and it gets to that gold Kobe just did $150,000. I had no clue that this card would be worth that much, and I don't think you even would consider that card to be worth that much.
Nah.
But the numbers that site is getting is crazy.
Right.
So I mean, like I'm not sure. I'm not sure anymore. I'm kind of almost in doubt a little bit on some of the comps that I see, and it's and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But right now, when I'm dealing with eBay, I just say, guys, just take your time and make sure you're checking comps on eBay. So eBay is a good necessary evil, because it allows you to find international buyers, and to find the buyer that you want to try to get to the numbers that you want to get. So it gives you all these different access, ways to sell your items. So I like that a lot.
You touched a little bit about comps, right? And I know that we've had episodes and we had shows about how to price out cards, right?
Yeah.
So I have a card that I just picked up. It was a Mike Trout rookie auto out of Bowman Sterling, and a PSA 10 of that card on Golden Auctions did 16K, right? Right after that card did 16K on Golden Auctions, it only did 10K on eBay in an open auction. So how would you go about comping that card out in today's world, knowing what both of those avenues brought for that card?
Well, the way I am in theory on trying to figure out value at this point, because I feel like everything, depending on what the card is on a up, everything's going up depending on what card it is. I always kind of put a premium on it, and I feel like, and then you leave it up to the buyer's discretion if they want to pay the money or not. We dealing with a card that's numbered to 25 or numbered to 10 or numbered to 5, and the last comp is 30,000 or 34,000 on your between. You put up a number up there that you feel comfortable letting it go at, and just be happy with it. So, or you just ask for a crazier number, because again, it's one of those things where if it's limited, you're almost at the mercy of whoever the seller is.
Yeah.
So you
Supply and demand.
You said what?
Supply and demand.
Yeah, agreed. So that's eBay for me. I guess it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of a con to on the negative side for eBay, in my opinion, because I feel like they should do a better job at it. I shouldn't have to go check a third-party app to see what actually sold and what didn't sell, and how much it sold for. So for that reason, I don't like that aspect of eBay. But I do like eBay for the international appeal.
But you know that canceled auctions are still showing up now, right?
Yeah,
So that was the other thing is back in the day when an auction got canceled, right? Whether it was bids or a buy it now that wasn't paid for and you canceled it, it wouldn't show up on like a 130 point where you could go and research it. It wouldn't
right.
show up in eBay completed listings. It actually would say this item is no longer available. So how would you know what's accurate, what's true, and what to believe? I mean, we're in a whole different world today, right?
Yeah,
Cards every day you're seeing that they're going for all-time highs. I saw a picture of Deshaun Watson yesterday. The dude has this 101 black prism now, you know?
yeah. I just
And
saw that
so
card at Dallas. I think that's funny. He
and
just had
so
it in
now
Dallas.
you
Yeah,
saw Ray Allen have a dual logament of himself. I forget who the other guy was on the card, but
that's
he
true.
showed a dual logament. So I mean, we're in a different
It was
realm
Jay
today.
Williams.
Okay, we're in a different sports world. We're in a different hobby than we were before, and so I think that it's going to be really interesting to see how the future and how we look at comping cards moving forward, right? With everything that's happening. I have a buddy of mine who will be at the show with us too. He always has fire. Shout out to Windy City Sports, but he's in a real good situation, right? He has a collection that he amassed 15, 20 years ago, right? And with everything that's happening, it's like I pull out a Jordan autograph card and do I sell it today or do I wait? I don't have to sell it, but everything's setting records every day. When is that bubble eventually going to pop? You know?
Hmm.
And do I sell it today and listen to Vegas Dave because he says get your money while you can? Or do you listen to the Gary V's and the Ken Goldens of the world that's saying that, it's not going to go down anytime soon? So it's scary though, because look, if you bought a car for $1,200 in 2005 and now it's worth $125,000, right? That's crazy numbers that we're talking about right now,
Yep.
right? So
Hmm.
obviously, you're like, man, do I make $123,000 off of this sale, or do I wait another year and maybe it goes up to 250, right? So, I mean, he's in an interesting spot because obviously he has a lot of room on his cards, but there's a lot of people out there like that. I mean, this is one scenario. So, it's going to be interesting what the hobby turns into, where we go from here, and then how we start comping cards moving forward in the future.
Yeah, I think that's why I kind of wanted to talk about golden auctions versus eBay. Was the underline was value and trying to figure out how, like, what's market manipulation, what's not market manipulation, how we're going to be able to comp cards going forward, and how we, because eventually we buy a card, you want to make money on it, you want to know you're in it for a good amount of money. Like, I don't typically want to spend max dollars on something unless I know for a fact it's like something that's irreplaceable. The card obviously numbered to 5 or number 101. I mean, if you have to overpay a little bit, these are cards you don't see very often. That, if you like Deshaun Watson, I'm sure whoever the previous owner was probably paid a lot less than what Deshaun Watson probably paid for it.
Yeah, if
So
he paid for it though.
if he paid for it or whatever. So I mean, but that's my point is we don't necessarily know. And that's where, but even if he wanted to sell it, do you think for him it's probably priceless? I mean,
Yeah,
you can't buy it back. It can't go to a collector.
yeah. You
So,
saw what you saw what Anthony Davis said about his car when they approached him
right.
and said your car just sold for $1.3 million. He was like,
Yep.
man, I might have to go pick up some cards of myself. And I know that we touched that, touch bases on that before. Like, if
Yep.
you do start buying cards of yourself, you're essentially gambling on yourself, saying I'm the man, I'm gonna perform, and therefore
Yep.
my cards are going to be worth X amount of dollars.
But if I'm an athlete, I definitely would do that though. I don't see why I wouldn't. I mean,
Why
I
wouldn't
think
you?
it's one of those things where shoot, you really can control the market. You're the type of person that have enough money to control the market, put the stuff to the side, and then if you decide you want to sell it later on, you can sell it if you want to, keep it if you want to. So
I
I mean,
mean,
that's
didn't we
success.
didn't we talk about the other day that, like, say we took it in perspective and we said, what if, like, you're redrafting the 2018, right, and Mark Cuban has
Yeah.
the number one pick, and he takes Luka Doncic with the number one pick, and you have all this money invested in him. Why not go out and buy his logo man, right? Why not go out and buy, the best card of the best player that you just drafted because you're putting that much potential in it. And now
Right.
you have a big billion, dollar business that's investing in this card. I mean, what does that do to the hobby if they start thinking that way?
Interesting point. Good point. Yeah, definitely point. I mean, but you know what though? I think we're gonna get there. It's gonna happen. It has. I mean, it's been happening. We just, a lot of people are starting to post about it, and I think as athletes continue to get involved, we will see more numbers involved. Because I mean, think about if you're a collector and you have a one-on-one, and you're genuinely a fan. I don't know. Are you just going to give it up? Like, can you imagine somebody giving up the one-on-one championship ticket to Tom Brady for a discount?
No, I'm not giving any discounts. That's one thing I'm not going to do. I mean, I'm not giving discounts. You have $1 billion. Why? You give me more, right?
Hey, Big Nate said, he said, don't be infatuated by these athletes and superstars, man. Get your money. Get your money. So I'm going to say the same thing. Get your money. Like, don't get swayed by these people, man, because at the end of the day, like, if you do this as a career or if you do this for a living, then, you got to make money. Now, you may give them a discount, be friends, and be cool with them. That might be, but, it's per your choice.
It's called networking, man. Choice. So how do you value that network? How you value that relationship? How you value all that stuff? I mean, sometimes knowing the right people is worth more than the dollars that they can provide you at that given time, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I met you. I'm on a podcast now, and I mean, I couldn't be even any better in the hobby and the trajectory that I'm on because of it. So kudos to you and what you brought to that. And I mean, I enjoy where we're at today, and I'm excited about the things to come, man. But I mean, we're gonna go ahead and hop into King Golden Auctions, and I mean, to me, I think it's really exciting what they're bringing to the hobby, right? I mean, honestly, before what card sold? Before the Trout sold on Golden Auctions, I didn't know who the hell they were. I didn't know what they did. I'm going to be honest with you, right? But you hear about all these records that they keep breaking and all the cards that keep funneling through their possessions, all these rare cards you haven't seen in 10, 15 years. I mean, it comes down to the point of you have to notice, right? You have to appreciate what they're doing because that's only going to make this hobby more prosperous and more profitable moving forward.
It feels like the more that the Golden Auctions make the news, the better the hobby is. I mean, especially exploiting the hobby on a different level, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. Ken is an excellent marketing guy.
Yeah,
he gets on TV, he gets to the people, he has a great network. So these are all the positive things I have to say. You know the origin of him, right?
No, but I've seen him in pictures with Shaq every now and then. So obviously he had to have some kind of roots inside the basketball, from what I've seen.
Well, Scoreboard. He used to work for Scoreboard, him and his dad.
Okay. Like the trading card company?
Yeah. And they did memorabilia. So they did memorabilia. And basically the first year he became president, I think I think that company failed. And then I guess he got into the Golden Auctions from there. But he was always on TV. He was always selling. You remember people were selling merchandise on TV on like Home Shopping Network?
Yeah.
That was them.
Okay.
Yeah, they were selling like autograph, memorabilia, and stuff like that on your QVC, your HSN, and stuff like that. That was Ken Golden. So they were good at marketing. They were good at putting stuff on TV and making stuff sound good. And you remember those commercials?
Well, I remember, waking up and not really knowing how to get into basketball cards because they weren't as readily available as they are today. But staying up at night and they said, man, it's a Jim Mid 10. I don't know if that was them or not, but my memories of watching the Home Shopping Network and being able to buy cards off of there, that's what I remember. But I don't remember if that was them or not.
Yeah, they had a collectible portion of it, and that's where he was kind of involved in. But if you see the pictures and stuff, they have him on QVC, HSN, doing all those type of things back then with, I guess, his dad. And then he took over. And then that company kind of faltered, and then they started the Golden Auctions. Again, the one thing I got to say about him is great at marketing. Some of the things I read into, like trying to figure out value, right? So if we're using Ken Golden's auction as value, supposedly, when you sign up for Ken Golden's auctions, you're supposed to be verified, right? Mm-hmm. You're supposed to be verified. That's a great thing, right? So, man, I don't know what to say, but actually, when I first posted this article about talking about it, I had some people reach out to me in reference to some sales that happened on the show. And I think some of the stuff they talked about was in reference to not getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
So, which led to some type of disbelief of me, because kind of like I was under the impression that everything that was sold on Golden Auction is legit. So now being told, that some sales on there are not actually sales, then that's what we are now, in my opinion, of like, who do we trust in terms of trying to figure out values on comps? And it's like, it's going to be like, can somebody verify this stuff for us? Like, it has to be a way for us to figure out value outside of just putting everything on auctions and just bidding on it. You think that'll ever happen?
I mean, but how do you do it, right? How do you verify a sale without personally seeing the transaction coming out of one entity and going into another, right? So how do you verify those sales? I mean, you can market manipulate everything, right? You can have ghost bidders. You can have different things happen. Now, the thing with Golden Auctions, though, is that it's not proxy bidding like eBay, right? And if you don't know what proxy bidding is, that means that you can set a max amount that you want to bid on an item, but it doesn't realize it until somebody bids it up, right? So everything on Golden Auctions is what the bid is where the card is at, right? There isn't a max value that you can put and let somebody bid you up. Okay. The other thing too is that I know that there's a lot of sales that happens on Golden Auctions, but he's gotten on live on Instagram before and said, don't pay for the auction, right? Send me some cards, right? And I'll run those cards, and whatever we net off of those cards, I'll apply it to your purchase, right?
There you go. That's some new tactic there. I mean, that's what I said. He's really good at marketing. He's really good at he's hitting numbers. He's good at pushing the agenda, and I guess he's good at also getting people to spend $40 million on the company. So, I mean, kudos again to him. And I mean, I guess it's just crazy to see where we are in the hobby and knowing that there's a lot of different auction houses and options that are out there. But I think this is just the beginning. I know that King Golden is probably the most popular right now, but I don't think he's the end result. I think there's so many flaws. I know we're going to continue to get better as a hobby. It's coming up with ways to figure out comps, and these auction houses will continue to figure out ways to make money. But I think it's just an area opportunity that I think somebody will figure out and make it better. I mean, I'm all for verified buyers. I'm all for verifying and making sure deals are getting done. I think if you bid on it, you should be able to bid only if you have a certain amount of money that can be verified. If you're bidding on $1 million item, you should have the money verified. We should both hey, we need to verify these funds are there if you're intending on bidding on this. And so they have to figure out some way to make these things better so that way people get paid. One story, I'm not going to say who, but one story, the guy told me that he had an auction going on for a Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady number 5 flawless card that was factory sealed. It was factory sealed, and I don't know if you guys you can check this. You guys can check exactly what I'm saying to you. It sold for over $60,000 the week that Tom Brady won the Super Bowl. It was relisted in this past auction, and it was graded a BGS 8.5. Okay, so there's two things that happened there, right? The first thing that happened was the card sold for $60,000 and was not paid for. Yep. The second thing that happened was this card was graded after it wasn't paid for. Now, there's things that happened in between there that I think at the end of the day is some cause for concerns in my opinion, but I'll leave it up to, Golden Auction and whoever is involved in that sale or not sale or whatever happens. I don't even know what the end result happened, afterwards, but this is some
hey man, what comes to mind when I hear you talking about this, man? You got your ear in some tunnels. You got your ear on some trees, on the railroad tracks. You got your ear on everything, man. I mean, you unearthing. I mean, an investigative reporter don't have anything on you, man. I'd hate to see you investigating Tiger Woods right now, man.
People
and why
talk,
he got into that
talk to
accident.
me, man. But like at the end of the day, though, like when I literally posted we were going to do the show, I had people hit me up, talking to me about situations they've been through, and we really remember we talked about having somebody on the show to talk about their interactions with Golden Auctions, and it's crazy because these people, of course, they don't want to do interviews about the scenario because it's kind of it puts them in a weird situation. Legally, and at the end of the day, I don't want to push no agenda on nobody, but it's just a lot of cause for concerns. I think as collectors that are out there. So, and there's also, I wanted to say this too. I think Golden Auction is good for platforms for $1 million cards. If you have a prospective $1 million card, I think it's an excellent place to put your card. If eBay is probably not the place for $1 million card. I think it's a good place for $1 million card. I think people feel more secure with the auction houses that specialize in cards.
But let me tell you why it's not the place, right? And what makes it appealing for somebody to sell on the King Golden auction, right? So King Golden, right? When you sign that NDA or whatever it is, you can leverage or you can negotiate your fee, right, for selling on his platform. You can leverage it to the extent of you pay $0 to sell on his platform. And he charges the buyers for buying your card, right? A buyer's premium, and that's how he makes his money, right? So why would you sell $1 million card on eBay, right, and lose out on, even if it's 1%, right? Even 1% of $1 million is a lot of money. But I think you're probably gonna lose out on like 6% of $1 million. But why would you do that? And also aside from that, if you sell it for $1 million on eBay, who knows if it gets paid, right? Because there's a lot of shady stuff. You have like people who see that card and bid on it just to bid on it without the intention of really winning it, right? So there's no limitation on who can bid on some cards. And then aside from that, right, you're going to get hit with 6%. So why wouldn't you go on the biggest platform that's actually set record after record to sell that kind of card with the potential of actually getting paid, because they're supposed to vet out their people. I know when I sign up for my account, they ping my bank account, right? So I mean, it's one of those things where
I haven't done one yet, but I planned on creating an account on Golden Auctions because I saw some stuff
it's
that
legit.
I feel like was undervalued. So there's some stuff on there undervalued, and I see it. People get so that's why I like King Golden's auctions, because I think that there are some cards that slip through the cracks that are undervalued even at the prices on that website. So I think they're not. I think they're good at the $1 million cards, but I don't think they're good at the thousands of dollars cards. Does that make sense? I think there's plenty of those cards that go through because everybody's looking for. I go on Ken's got auctions. I'm looking for the one-on-ones. I'm looking for the Logelmans. I'm looking for the gold. I'm looking for everything else. So when you see something common that maybe not numbered but still a really nice rare card, it goes through the cracks. I don't think people really see them. I think we miss those opportunities on there. So I think that may be that. Like I think there's certain cards that do well on different platforms. Does that make sense?
Oh, that's totally true. I mean, everyone has their niche. Everybody has their what they're good at, and obviously we see when it comes to breaking records, I don't think anyone can compete. I don't think the Heritages of the world. I think they oversell Heritage by like 20 to 25%. So I mean, when you have a company that knows how to market and strategize to get the most
TV every week.
I mean, that guy right there, man, he's on Instagram Live. Right before we hopped on here, he was hopping on Instagram Live and already had like 500 people watching his feed.
There you go.
I mean, he gets on live, he shows the card, he advertises the card, and he's bringing the most out of it. He's bringing all the boys to the yard, man.
Yep.
His milkshake is bringing all the boys to the yard, man. That's all I got to say, man. Setting records every day.
He definitely is. So, I mean, so how do you feel about Golden Auctions overall so far, based upon what you've seen, how everything works?
Again, if he finds a way to iron out the kinks, right? And I know that he's supposed to be coming up with a platform to get those smaller cards and become, a household name to sell littler cards than what he sells. I think if he irons out the kinks, man, I don't know if you go anywhere else. Now, I want to see what the fee structure is going to look like to see if it's someone that I'm going to use as a platform, as a resource to sell my cards.
Yep.
But I mean, record setting stuff, there's no other place to go. And I think that when you see on ESPN, when you see on local TV networks talking about record setting Kobe Bryant cards that sell for $1.8 million, all that can do is bring more people to the hobby, more people to invest, and that's good for everybody.
Yep, I totally agree. So that's one of the biggest cons. Again, I mean, one of the biggest pros with Golden Auctions, their marketing is amazing. They bring everybody, as you using your words, they bring all the boys to the yard, which
And
absolutely
girls,
right.
They bring them too.
Yeah, and they make everybody go pay attention. I never went to Golden Auctions prior to them breaking records and paying attention to sales beforehand. I never paid attention to it. And I feel like the more and more people that pay attention to it, the bigger the platform gets, the more people are going to get involved. They'll spend money. And once he becomes a trusted place, a completely trusted place, he's going to continue to excel. eBay's been that platform for a while. And then it kind of like, we're running these bumps in the road with chargebacks and all. They were for the buyer for a long time. But I think now it's getting a little bit better. I've heard them coming out with some rules for cards where you can't wait till your favorite running back breaks his leg and his career is over with. Within that 120 days to say, hey man, this card ain't what I thought it was going to be. I lost the bet. So now I can go ahead. So when you're dealing with these type of things on eBay, man, I try not to charge back nobody unless it's something that's intolerable. You might buy a card and you get the backup. Like he doesn't even mention like all these ticks on the back of the card that obviously if you wanted to grade it, you can't grade. So if you have situations like that, then you have no choice.
But I will tell you this, man, and the thing, the biggest con that I see with Ken Auctions, man, to be honest with you, is how hard it is to look up a previously sold item, right? Like you have to jump through a lot of hoops to figure out. I was looking for a buddy of mine. He had his card run this last auction. And I want to see what it sold for, and it's like, what's going on there, right? How do you have a platform that the biggest cards that we've ever seen sell, right? Record setting sales. How does your platform go blank and you can't bid on anything, right? Kind of reminds me of what happened when everybody found out about PSA rising its prices and everybody rushed to input stuff before the price hike, which was pretty substantial, which submissions have gone down since then, just FYI. And you had to click on boats, you had to click on bicycles for the Captica to verify that you weren't a bot. And so, I mean, that was the worst horrible experience. I mean, it's for another day, of course. Wow. But how do you sell $1 million worth of cards and your platform doesn't work? I mean, I don't get that.
That's one of the concerns I think I had the first time, because it's not the first time this happened. It's happened 2 or 3 times already. And you're absolutely right, man. You get all this money, $40 million. You gotta get that server, that room working, get that website, do a refresh on that website. That website needs to be up to par, man. It's got to be a whole lot.
I mean, but how do you have an investor like Mark Cuban who came up from technology that knows everything there is about creating websites and domains and bandwidths and this, that, and the other, and you get infused by $40 million. And then right afterwards, your site crashes, when the auctions are about to end. I mean, to me, it's one of those things that he has to have a better team around him to realize what will potentially happen and safeguard against that, man. I mean, you have to have contingency plans in place.
I think he's accomplished his goal so far, in my opinion. I think his goal was to become one of the best platforms for selling. And I think as of right now, he's achieved that. He's killing it on sales. And I think that with the money that they just got, the $40 million and the resource, I don't even really care about the $40 million. Just take the $40 million.
That's a drop in the bucket.
It's the connections with Mark Cuban, the Kevin Durant, the NBA relationship, the athlete relationships, and bringing them to become more. in the hobby and involved. You got music producer Timbaland, I think, is involved in that deal.
Mm-hmm.
So you're involving different aspects of.
I think Mark Wahlberg's in there too, and
Yeah.
you have Paul Logan in there, Logan Paul in there too. So
Exactly. So you're involved in so many people who can influence the market and bring on more people and add more people to it, so it can become bigger and better. So I think the hobby is definitely on the rise, and I think people like Golden Auctions and Heritage and eBay. I think somebody can come out and make it way better. I mean, I've had conversations with some people that I know and who've told me that they're working on platforms, and with them
it take a
working on
lot of money,
platforms,
man.
it's definitely a lot of money, but there's so much opportunity when you got to pay. eBay is all eBay to me got to do is just say we're dropping from 10% to 8% to now we're at 2%.
Yeah.
Just changes the game. Or just them doing that. But again, you mentioned Golden Auctions where you can negotiate the fees to where the buyer pays for the fees, and that's crazy. I mean, that's the reality we're in right now.
But you got to also think about it though. PayPal, right, is owned by eBay.
Yeah.
Okay. Venmo is owned by PayPal. Nah, I mean they cut them off to a sense, right?
Yeah, but why do we have to sell a card? Like you said, you had to wait 14 days. Why do we have to sell something and then wait 2 weeks to get the money back?
I mean, look, you asking a question to an answer that I wish I knew the answer to, because it's frustrating.
You got to figure it out, man.
If I'm a glass half full kind of guy, and so I do like the ease of selling the card and the fees, because there's nothing worse than selling $30,000 worth of cards, right, and a month later getting hit with the bill for $4,000. Like, there's nothing worse than that.
I do like that. I do like they take the money out up front now. That's something I do like. I do like them taking the money up front. And I guess because of the check, we don't have to pay PayPal fees, right?
No.
So that's when we lose the money there. Okay, so that's what I was wondering. So that's not completely that bad.
Yeah. So I mean, and then the question that I always have, and maybe I'll get it answered one day, is that tax that they're taxing on your card, where does that money go?
You said what?
Where's that money go for all them taxes that they're collecting? I mean, they got a free payday loan. We talk about those free payday loans.
Man,
go ahead and talk about your experience of buying stuff and not getting
it. eBay has been winning because they've been doing it the longest. Even if they shut down today, it wouldn't even matter. They have so much money, it doesn't even matter. And I think that's what's crazy about eBay is they haven't figured out. Like, to me, they should be getting their platform better.
Yeah,
I think it's time for a refresh on eBay. I don't know. I mean, I think it's got to be something.
But
drastic.
you do see the interactions that they have on Instagram. I mean, I've seen where they've gone live to give out cards with Steve Aoki. So they're making strides to connect with people on Instagram. They're making strides to connect with people outside of their eBay platform. They are getting rid of some programs, like the 1%, program that they would give, the buyback program that they would give. They're getting rid of it. Mm-hmm. But what does that do to the platform? Obviously, they want to keep more money in house. So, I mean, it'll be really interesting to see what transpires with the selling platforms that are coming about. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of them, right? There's a whole bunch of them sprouting up. And it'd be interesting to see if, say, an Instagram comes out with the selling platform where you're able to list cards and sell it on Instagram, right? Where they leverage.
I think Instagram would probably be an excellent place to sell cards if you think about the platform that they already put in place. I mean, Facebook is big too.
Oh, yeah, the Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, Facebook Marketplace, absolutely, and it connects to Instagram. That's a great idea. So you're giving out game.
Yeah, well, Facebook, I mean, hey,
Facebook will be watching.
Hey, we can go back and we can play this tape, and you heard it here first, and maybe we can get Prism Guides because it was heard first on Prism Guides. We can start getting a royalty check for that.
Giving them ideas and game. It's all good. Well, I guess I'm kind of done with talking about that. I want to talk about the show, man. We got 10 minutes left in the show. Man. Anybody have questions or concerns, feel free to drop them questions. But Prism Guides will be at the Dallas show. I'm already at Dallas right now. I'm in my room, checked in. Mark will be here tomorrow. We'll
Yep.
have Miss Prism Goddess is actually going to come to the show. She'll be here on Friday. She'll probably be manning the tables while I'm walking around trying to make deals happen. We're buying, we're selling, we're trading. Well, Mark's buying.
Well, I got a couple dollars to spend at the show. I mean, it's one of those things where it's hard though. It's hard to sell and buy at the same time, right?
Man, what do you sell right now?
I don't know. I mean, baseball. You sell baseball, maybe, right? You're still about a month away, but I mean, it's hotter than hot right now. So you might
selling
sell baseball.
these?
You're not selling those, man. You're never selling those. You need what you need to do, right? And it's so hard to do in Atlanta.
Those are sticking. Can't even lie.
You need to go get you a safety deposit box, okay? You need to put them in there and go pick them up again in like 10 years is what you need to do. But remember, you went and looked for a safety deposit box and you couldn't get one.
I ain't been able to find a safety deposit box the entire time, but I may consider using PWCC's vault.
Nah.
But Alt has a vault that's supposed to be working on, so I was going to try to wait for them too. So I'm waiting on whoever gives me the best benefit.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the trade nights at this show, man. I think the last show was a little scatterbrained. You know, it was kind of promptu. It was kind of lobby, hunting. I think that the reason was they had some convention rooms. There's some rooms kind of booked up for other things.
Yep.
But I think that there's going to be a better trading scene this go around, and we're going to be able to connect with a lot of different people at that show and trade. Right. I know that you do your best deals in trading, and so I want to see the magic man.
I kind of slept the last time I did some. I didn't do that good on trades, man. I really do a lot of trades. I did a lot of buying the last show. The show before that, I killed it, I think. And the game before that, I did too, I think.
Let me ask you this. So Texas is like one of 8 states that lifted the mask ordinance, right?
Yeah. But downstairs, so you know, they do say you have to have the mask to get in. So,
downstairs inside the show?
Lobby. Yeah, the lobby.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's the one thing, though, that they're giving the discretion up to owners to refuse service or to refuse entry if they so fit. So although they lifted the ban across the state where they're not requiring you to wear a mask, right? Yeah. I think I'm still going to wear a mask, right? I mean, COVID just didn't go away yesterday, and it's not going to go away tomorrow just because somebody lifts a suit.
My mom's going to get mad at me, so. She said, "You wearing a mask, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm wearing a mask." Comfortable.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be really exciting. I think it's going to be a great show. 608 tables is what I last saw. Who knows if there's going to be a little bit more?
Amazing.
So there's going to be a lot of great cards. There's going to be a lot of money. If you're selling cards, bring your cards.
I brought lots of cards, guys. I brought lots of cards. Come by the table. Come check us out. I have a little bit of everything. Let's see. Show you some more previews. Look at that. Ooh, gold Kobe.
I don't care if it is a 7, man. It's a nice card. You don't see that card too often.
Yeah, I know, man. Got an AD. I got an AD gonna be at the show. Refractor. Look at that. It's pretty cool.
It's not a refractor, man. It's a silver prism.
I'm sorry. First ever prism. Hey, my son's watching. What's going on, buddy? My son's watching. And Kevin Durant.
And you got some good little goodies that you picked up. I haven't seen those yet.
I brought a few things. I was gonna bring the Joe Louis, but some stuff I have no plans on moving. It's just one of those things where I just wanted to come to the show and enjoy.
Well, see, back in the day, you used to come and see nice cards, right? Obviously, some people put price tags on cards that, this is the I'm not selling price card, Yeah. And so, I mean, that was the one thing that I guess gets lost in everything is that people do bring out bangers. But the only thing is every showcase got bangers now, man. Before,
everybody.
There used to be 1 or 2 guys that had really high-end stuff that you're just like, wow, right? But then if you've seen that stuff enough, then it's not so wow anymore, right? And so some of the stuff that you just showed and previewed right now, you don't see that stuff every day. So go ahead and come to the show. if you want to see 101 Lucas and black label Luca refractors or
Yeah.
PSA 10 Jordans, go ahead and come to the show, right? It's
Yep.
like a museum walking around, and
Very much so.
you get a chance to see cards that you otherwise wouldn't show up on social media platforms, because a lot of these guys may not have a social media presence and showcase this kind of stuff,
Yep.
and you get a chance to see it firsthand and in person. First and foremost, you get to look in dollar bin boxes that have $500 card lurking around in those that the dealer hadn't picked out yet. So there's all kinds of opportunities, whether you're looking for $2 base cards or $100,000 cards and showcases. Man,
Hmm.
there's a deal to be made for everybody. This
Yep.
show has actually grown from 150 tables. Now it's at 608. In
Crazy.
November, it was quoted to be the Dallas National, since the National got canceled that last year, and so a lot of great things happening with the Dallas show.
Love this
Look it
show.
up
It's a
at
great show.
DallasCarShows.com to get more information. It's in Allen, Texas, so definitely excited for it.
Yes. So feel free to the people that are watching and listening. Come by the table. We'll be available. I'll be there first thing in the morning, Friday morning, 7, 8 in the morning for setup. I think it's like
They're
9
starting to
o'clock.
set up. They're
Yeah, I
starting to
think they
set up
pushed it back to
tomorrow.
like 9 or something like that.
They're
But
starting to set up tomorrow.
yeah, I'll be an early setup tomorrow as well. But I'm going to be putting out a few things, not nothing major. Mainly just walking
Mm-hmm.
around trying to look for deals. So feel free to come by the table, come get the stickers. We actually brought the Prism Guide used stickers. I'll be giving those away. Feel free to sign up for the channel. Check us out next week. I think we'll have a guest on next week. I think it's either going to be Platinum Breaks, or actually talk to somebody else who would actually want to talk to us about NFTs and non-fungible tokens. Hey, actually, I think this guy's name is Sean Kelly. He's pretty popular, I want to say. I think he has close to 100,000
Oh, wow.
followers or something like that. We can talk about what he does and how he made $100,000 in non-fungible tokens in a month. He made $100,000 in non-fungible tokens.
Yeah. How are you doing on yours?
Man, I haven't looked at that stuff since I can't get a pack.
Yeah, I mean, that turns people off, right? That turns people off for sure.
Yeah, I can't
Go
get
buy
a pack.
one on secondary market for like 5,000 a pack.
Yeah, I've seen. I mean, NFTs. I don't know if it's a long-term investment. I'm still trying to figure this thing out. But it's nice to get somebody else's insight on it, maybe a little bit more detailed than what we know, to where we can educate you guys on potentially how to make money and how we can thrive. So the more people know, the more people get involved, the more money is being circulated. Therefore, people make money. So you want to
I
show
was gonna
some
ask you.
cards you bring in?
No, I don't have any, man. I sold everything off. But I was gonna tell you, man. Today was the first night of NBA returning, but I was gonna ask you what you thought about the All-Star game and the All-Star weekend that they had.
I know we probably should have talked about that earlier, but yeah, my bad. I gung ho this thing, but it threw me off. We didn't have an intro, man. We didn't have an intro. That's what it was. But All-Star weekend was meh. It was okay. I didn't really like it. Yeah, I don't really like it. I don't think it's. I mean, the only thing I probably liked was just the actual game. I didn't like the format where each quarter, but I think they were giving money away per quarter or something like that, donations. And then they had, I don't know. I just didn't like the overall aspect of the All-Star games. I think it's just kind of.
I mean, I know last year they had the tribute.
I'm more mad because it was in Atlanta and I couldn't go.
Yeah,
I couldn't
they
go.
had they had the tribute last year, and honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. My son had a baseball tournament this weekend, and so I didn't watch any All-Star game this weekend, right? Not the slam dunk contest, not the steals challenge, not nothing of it. And so, I mean, obviously, I just referenced NBA being back for the first time today. They gave them 2 days off to rest after that. If they didn't make the All-Star game, obviously they had 5 days rest. So hopefully we see an energized second half of the season. Or hopefully we see some good basketball. I see Memphis beating up on Washington. We'll see if that score lasts or holds. And just excited for the playoffs. I think that there's some dark horse teams that could potentially start getting hot. We're going to see what the trade deadline is about to come up here
Mhm.
soon. So we'll see what kind of moves happen. I heard Andre Drummond might be going to the Lakers. So we'll see how many of these
Woo!
speculations come about.
Boy, Andre Drummond, a beast. That's a beast
And
right there, man.
yeah, I picked up this. Look, it ain't nothing big, but it's going to go out for grading.
Yeah,
It looks like a
I
black.
saw that card, man. That's a nice card you got there.
Um, so a lot of interesting stuff that's about to transpire in the basketball world.
I like these two. I think these two gonna probably make a little noise, man. So these are my two that I think you gotta watch. These are my two teams you got to watch out for. These two. I'll show you two. I'll show you two pair. I'll show you two pair. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, they're losing right now, but go ahead.
these two gonna probably get to the playoffs and be a hard out. And I think these two right here gonna make a second half run for that number one spot.
Well, I mean, they're already making a run. So you said second half. I'm like, they're already there.
Well,
It's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting to see what transpires from the trade deadline. It's going to be interesting to see who makes these final runs to make the playoff.
yeah.
And then once you get in the playoffs, I think it's another bubble, ain't it? Like,
Yep. 8 through 10, I think. Or yes, no, is it 7 through 10, I think, or something like that? I don't remember. Yeah, so basically the bottom half they got to compete again. So that makes it even interesting for teams like Memphis, Dallas, New Orleans. They got to fight it out. The young guys got to battle it out. It's crazy.
look, Memphis is 16-16 right now, man. So they're 500. So they got a chance of making the playoff.
Dope.
Yeah. So,
Well, we
man, it's a
appreciate
long
you
day.
guys. Go ahead. What you
No, you're good. It's just been a long day.
It has
So
been.
obviously,
I'm so tired. I'm about to give me some. I'm probably gonna pass out.
yeah, tomorrow's gonna be a long day too. Got
I
another
know.
day of real work. I don't get to do hobby cards, sports cards full
What
time
time you'll
like
be
you.
in so I can get my stuff from you?
Night,
Oh, nighttime.
like 5, 6.
Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. We'll see you then. Everybody, make sure you come look for us this weekend. We're buying, we're selling, we're doing trades. Bring your dope stuff. We want to see some rare stuff. Show it to us. Love to take pictures, post it online, or even attain it. So feel free to come by the booth. Come check us out. Come get a sticker. Come support the brand. We got T-shirts and hoodies too. Is that it? Till
Yeah,
next
that's it,
week.
man.
All right,
Till
join
next
us
week.
next week, same time, it'd be 9 o'clock Eastern time, which is 8 p.m. Central time. And I should be in Atlanta. I don't think I'll be going anywhere until the following weekend. Probably have my son next weekend, so look forward to seeing him. And I think he's watching. So hey, what's up, Ja? What's up, buddy? So just wanted to say thank you guys for joining the show, and we'll see you this weekend.
Peace out. Later,
Appreciate
guys.
you guys. Take it easy.